Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and I want to welcome you to this quick episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Don't know what I was thinking. I filmed a video yesterday and had it set to release at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I didn't set it quite right, and it released at 3 a.m. this morning. So I wanted to give you a brief one for 3 o'clock this afternoon. And tomorrow's video I've already got planned for 3 o'clock, and instead of a Christmas card tomorrow, I'm going to be making a Thanksgiving card using Gina K Designs ephemera and one of her stamp sets and die set. Everyone is talking right now about the blackout technique in card making. It's very popular, and I have done a video on it in the past. It's kind of where you take your 3D embossing folder, and there's two ways of doing it. You color on the embossing folder itself, and then you take inks, whether it be black, brown, blue, red, and you take it over your paper and color the background. And I've done that a couple of times. And that works the best on 3D embossing folders. And it also looks really pretty when you don't do the background. I sprinkled water on, and this one's plain, then I sprinkled water on, and I got this effect. And that's what these also look like. This was just plain on a 3D embossing folder, and I cut it down. So I'm going to be making some things with that. But everyone's asking, can you do this with regular embossing folders? And the answer is yes, you can. I have selected, let's see if I can, this Darice, it's a rose embossing folder. And I'm going to run it through twice to show you how I am going to do it. I am calling this my Crayon Resist Blackout technique. Taking two ways of doing this. Now, where did I put my metal plate? And coming up with something different. I'm just going to run this through my Anna Griffin Empress machine. There was a couple of ways I was playing with this morning. One is with crayons and one is with ink. So I am going to do this twice just to show you. And then when I'm done, I'll show you a card I completed this morning. This video is just to show you the techniques that I used and that you can use too. Okay, I have two of these embossed, and they emboss beautifully. Now, my paper was larger than the folder, so I will trim this down when I want to use it. I don't think this one has a name. It's just a really old Darice folder, but it is beautiful. Okay. Now, we're not making a card today. I just want to show you. There are two ways you can do this. You can actually take your inks. Let's see, I've just got Gina K's Lucky Clover, Wild Wisteria, and Tranquil Teal. And you can just take, let's see, we'll start with the blue. And just take your ink and just kind of color on top. And it doesn't matter if you go outside the line, because you're going to be covering it up with the black. That's good. This is just a quick and I will come back and get the greenery here in just a moment. We'll do this one half and half. Okay, so we got the flowers colored real quick. Now I'll do the greenery. And this is a little hard to tell the greenery on. This is the way everyone is doing the typical blackout technique. They're doing this, and you can do that. You want to do it on this particular folder. You want to do it on the raised up side, because if you do it on the flat side, it's just going to cover the whole thing in black. So you want the sharp side up. Now, you want to take your, I'm using VersaFine Clair. I just need a scrap of paper here because I need to make sure I got a juicy. One of these is real juicy and one of them's not. This one's the real juiciest one. So I'm going to take scrap paper. And now you just put this as flat as you can and just run it over your paper. And you can just do that. You can stop right there because that makes a nice design image. It's like you embossed it. But the blackout technique is where you take and you fill in all of that extra white with your black ink. And you can do that. But if like you're concerned about getting black ink on your design, you know, you might get a little if you're doing it like that and you brush a little harder. And that in itself isn't bad, but just do that and get as much of it covered as you can. However, I have found with this particular design, it's so intricate, you can either use a black alcohol ink marker, my Spectrum Noir in True Black. You can use a plain old Sharpie. I have a very fine point. And I have Kelly Creates. This is a large brush nib. And just color in the black that you missed. You can go inside the design and color in. And when it dries, it is the exact same color as the VersaFine Clair. And I'll show you, I did one earlier here. And that's how that would look. My completed one, I will show you in a minute. I also did this in brown. Now, another way of doing this, let me just clean off my fingers, is what I call the crayon resist technique. I tried it with Crayola pencils. They're a crayon pencil. It didn't work because you need the wax in it. And I have only a very basic 24 color Crayola kit here. So if you have kids or you have your own big box of crayons to choose from, go for it. And I'm going to pick a pink and a blue to make my flowers. You just color your flower. The more thoroughly you have it colored, the better. But if you leave like white spaces, like I'll color right here, but I don't color the whole thing in. I just kind of do that. It will work. And that's what I did on the card that I'm going to show you. But we're going to color this one in really well. And I'm only just going to do 2 of the flowers. And you want to try and stay inside your lines if you can. It helps if you have like a Crayola sharpener, something to sharpen your crayons. Or if they make waxed colored pencils, I don't know. That would work too. I'm just going to color in this one flower to show you how it looks. And then I will show you the final product. Okay, and we'll do a little pink over here. Because this works really cool and I love the effects. Okay, we'll just show you now. I'll get a little green in there so you can see what the leafery looks like. And that's not a leaf, but I'm going to make it a leaf right now so you can see. This is just a sample. Okay, and now you take your, same as before, you take your ink, lay it down flat, and go across. And you can fill it in. But where your crayon is, you just take a wet wipe and rub off as little or as much of the black that you want. That's it. The wax in the crayon resists the ink a little bit. So any spot, like over here on this pink, I didn't color all the way. I left some white gaps, and that's what shows here. And I'll show you on the card I finished as soon as I wipe this ink off my fingers. This is actually kind of fun, and I'm wanting a larger box of crayons now. Now, this is not my typical style of card. I'm going to move all of this inky stuff aside because I'm going to have my finished card here. I took that same folder, I colored it with my crayons, and then I put it on a 5x7 card base, and then I used my Waffle Flowers Lacy Layers 5x7 dies, and I just cut another layer of the same peachy pink that I made the card out of, put it behind the black, and I cut out the black using the third largest die. And then I had a sentiment just because that I printed on my printer, and I foiled it with like a rose gold foil, and then I added just a few little rhinestones. So not my typical style, but I'm actually kind of digging it now. So get your crayons out, try the new Blackout Crayon Resist technique, and go for it. Thanks for watching.